Raise your hand if you love closing. Anyone? No? You neither? Okay. The number one thing that we hear from our clients and our teammates is, how do I close more of my prospects? How do I get them off the fence and into my business without coming across as spammy or salesy? Believe it or not, it's easier than you might think. And when you do it right, your prospects will actually be thanking you for helping them make a decision instead of keeping them stuck in limbo. And in this episode, I am sharing 3 of our best closing questions that you can use immediately to start getting your prospects off the fence and into your business. So let's go. Hey there, I'm Jordan Maylea, co-founder of the Global Freedom Community, alongside my mom and business partner, Kathy Schneider. Together, we help driven network marketers with the simple strategies to grow your business quickly online without confusion and overwhelm. And we put out brand new training episodes just like this one on this channel every single week. So if you're new here, be sure and hit that subscribe button because you do not want to miss any of the amazing stuff we have planned for you. Every single week, we include a free resource to help you get more out of what we cover in the episode. I'm going to link in the show notes to a full recap of this episode and a link to this week's freebie, so be sure to check it out before you go. If you struggle with closing, I want to challenge you to start thinking of it in a different way. Because what if what you think is a closing problem is actually a mindset problem? You see, you should never ever feel good about having to push or convince anyone to make any decision about anything. And if you have to convince someone to join your business, you're going to have to convince them to launch their business. And if you have to convince them to launch, you're going to have to convince them to keep taking action. You're going to have to convince them to come to the team calls. You're going to have to convince them to follow the DMO. You're going to have to convince them to come to the next event. And eventually, you're going to be so exhausted that you're going to stop convincing and they're going to quit the business. Nobody wants that. So instead, we need to start thinking of closing as an indicator of whether or not we have done our job to give our prospects all the information they need to make an informed decision and to make the best decision for them. These 3 closing questions that I'm going to help you with today are going to make that so incredibly easy for you. So let's dive into question number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I never want to do this business, 10 being, I'm ready to jump in and get started right now, where do you see yourself? We love this question because it will tell you exactly what next step to take with your prospect based on their answer. If they respond with a number lower than 5, then we usually respond with a takeaway and just say something really simple like, well, maybe this business isn't the best fit for you right now. Usually they will respond by arguing with you, saying, no, I haven't decided yet. And then they will tell you what information they need to make an informed decision and move themselves higher up that scale. If they respond with a number 5 or higher, then we respond by saying, that's amazing. What information do you need from me in order to move you closer to a 10? They tell us, we provide that information through a tool, and they're off and running. If they respond with a 10, the answer is simple. Send over your enrollment kits and help them get started. And speaking of enrollment kits, that brings us to question number 2. Would you like me to send over the enrollment kits so you can take a look at the options and see how you can get started? Here's a little tip. Every single prospect wants to know, what does it cost to get started and what will I get for that cost? They're just too afraid to ask you because they don't want you to jump down their throat. They're afraid that if they ask that question, you're going to put their feet to the fire and make them join. And so take the pressure off of them. Offer to send over the enrollment kits. Assume that they love what they see. Point out your favorite kit. Tell them how to follow through on the steps to get started, and then be there to answer their questions and ask what they like best. My mom and I do all of this using a very simple 1-page website that is replicated throughout our entire team. It lists all the enrollment kit options as well as a walkthrough of the steps to enroll and a little blue button they can click on that takes them right to our site to join. If you want to see how we do this and how we automate it throughout our entire team, feel free to drop a comment under this video or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and we will get with you and show you step by step how we do that. Okay, question number 3. Based on what you've seen so far, if I could show you how to work this in X number of hours a week without interfering with what you're currently doing, how much would you need to earn to make it worth it for you? I love this question because most people just want to make between $0 and $500 a month with their business, especially when they're just starting out. So it's very, very easy to show people how they can make that amount of money with your business pretty quickly. Now, sometimes you'll get some crazy answers and you'll have to tell people, I'm sorry, you can't make $10,000 a month your first month, right? But it is a really great question because most people are going to give you an answer that's very, very doable and easy for you to show them how to do it. Once they tell you their number, you want to respond by saying, awesome. Well, if I could show you how to make that amount of money in this amount of hours per week, would you be ready to get started? Almost always they will say yes. They want to know, can I do this? Will it work for me? How do I do this? So if you can answer those questions by showing them how to hit their first income goal, a lot of those objections are just going to melt away instantly. Closing questions are a powerful way to get an idea of where your prospect is in the decision-making process, and getting them to show you what information they need from you to make an informed decision. We absolutely love all 3 of these closing questions. We use them all in our business personally, depending on how the conversation is going or who we're talking to. Sometimes it just depends on our mood. We interchange all 3 of them pretty frequently. And what we really love about this process is that by using questions like these and then providing the information that they tell you they need, they actually become extremely grateful that you have thought through this and that you're helping them make a decision. Having a toolbox full of closing questions to help you get prospects off the fence and into your business is so powerful. But what we really love is having step-by-step tools that allow our prospects to make a decision and close themselves on autopilot. If that's intriguing to you, then I want to invite you to join us for a free training that we just put together called our Social Media Prospecting and Recruiting Workshop. Inside this free training, we walk you through our 4-step formula that we use to enroll new customers and teammates into our business every single week. We are going to show you how to find and connect with your perfect prospects on social media, how to share your business with them with ease, and then how to convert them into your business as customers and teammates on autopilot so that you can build a huge team online without having to bug or rely on your friends and your family. I will put the link to this free resource in the show notes for you below, so be sure to check it out, and we cannot wait to see you on that free training. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today for this week's episode of Global Freedom TV. We can't wait to see you right back here next week for our next episode. See you there.